Hey, Bielanskiteers, is everybody ready for another exciting episode of KWJUDAS?
Want a piece of me? You think you'll get to me? It's not so easy. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. It's not easy. Too late. You're really not so great, so you overcompensate. Your dreams dissipate. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. It's not easy being famous. Haters hate their lives and blame us. Made me suffer. I recover and destroy it undercover while a lawsuit dated silent. All your hate is unrequited. It's not easy being famous. Haters hate their lives and blame us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's just two guys hanging out, having a good time.
Just like last time. Hey, Judas, how's it going? It is great to be back here.
Just clapping for ourselves. And it's funny, I kind of look over and you just gave me this smile that kind of reminded me of the guy who wrote that song. Two guys just having a good time.
Is that a song called Two Guys Just Having a Good Time?
It is. We're not going to get into that, though. The song you just played is an old song from an old project, is it not?
Well, that is correct. That song was from my 2016 album, United States of Anguish, which was actually the final album from my old band, Anguish. And that one was a particularly fun one to do. That's the one I did with Mr. Steve Albini, the world-renowned engineer that recorded Nirvana, Bush, the Pixies.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was, and he did a great job. He was super professional. He came up with ideas. He interjected his own ideas. Even though he doesn't like being called a producer, he did some stuff that would typically be something a producer would do. He came up with some real good ideas and arrangements and whatnot, and it was a real pleasure. It's something I wanted to do since I started playing music way back when.
So how did you get hooked up with that guy?
Well, the idea came way back when I first started. I was on a small independent record label in South Carolina, and the gentleman that
ran the label, he also had his own band, which back then was called Eurogression, E-U-R-O, Eurogression. And
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was European, so it was a very appropriate name.
Oh, now I even more get it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a European that just set up shop in South Carolina and did a little record label, and he was actually friends with Steve Albini from, I guess they had, I think, played together when Albini had Big Black in the 80s. So that's how it first came up, the idea, hey, you should go record with Steve Albini. So even though the idea first came about in like 1999, it wasn't until 2016 that it actually came to fruition.
Damn.
You know, it was a matter of like, saving up the money to pay him.
Yeah, I was going to ask, okay, you don't have to answer, but damn, I bet that was expensive.
Well, actually, I had it not much more expensive than projects I've worked with. People
just
that
like local producers,
just usual people. Yeah. People that are not world renowned that have worked with Nirvana and
like everyone else who's worked with Nirvana.
Yeah, like all the other people that did not record Nirvana. I mean, but that's not to say that recording Nirvana and the Pixies and Bush automatically would make you a better engineer. It just so happens that
all those bands sucked.
It just happened that Steve Albini, he was great. It was a great experience recording that album with him. No kidding, and he was super nice. He drank a lot of root beer. He was just sitting there drinking.
I like freeze for a second.
He drank a lot.
We're in Utah here. I mean, it's the home of Sprite and root beer. Oh, homemade root beer, man. Have you ever had homemade root beer?
To come to think of it, I don't think I've had like homemade beer, let alone
homemade
root
beer.
beer.
Oh man, you got to know what you're doing. But homemade root beer, you just use the dry ice shit, and it fucking steams up out of the orange round igloo cooler, which I'm sure only Utahs have.
Oh no, I know those orange coolers.
They're just like sitting around on the curbside around here. That's where I got mine.
Cool.
It belonged to like the 6th Ward or something, but I mean, what does it mean if it's just got their fucking name written on it? I still have yet to be able to wash that Sharpie off of the lid, but still, it's mine now. And I mean, they're everywhere. I swear, Utah's like the breeding ground for those little cylindrical orange igloo coolers.
No kidding. I'll definitely have to, keep an eye on that on my travels here in Utah this time and see if I can,
just bag yourself.
Indeed, if I see
an orange igloo cooler,
if I see one on the side of the road, I'm definitely going for it.
What's funny is I'm not kidding though.
Yeah.
That's how I've acquired several coolers. I'm not. They're just sitting on the side of the road. They're with a whole other pile of shit, and that's like gonna be one of the items in that pile of shit. It's gonna be one of the only items that you actually want. Whereas if it's like baby clothes and broken lawn chairs and shit.
Well, trust me, I am no stranger to dumpster diving. I have a lot of my possessions, some of my more valued possessions too. I've been acquired through the art of dumpster diving. And for those listeners who may not know what dumpster diving is, that's when you find stuff that's been abandoned by other people as trash, and you pick it up and put it in your vehicle and take it home and make it your own.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that you literally dove into a dumpster.
Although, indeed, it's kind of a blanket term. Although it can include actually diving into the dumpster.
Right.
Right. At least where I come from, I don't know. I come, North Carolina, kind of blanket term.
So we have Brian Bielanski here from North Carolina. Since no one's asked yet, I realize I haven't even introduced you.
Oh.
So, Brian Bielanski here from North Carolina. Let's have another song.
All right. Well, thank you, Judas, and thanks for introducing me there. And
finally,
Like you know what? I didn't even.
That whole segment was just your introduction.
Indeed. I mean, sometimes that's how long it takes. Right?
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Brian MF Bielanski. See, this guy, he isn't just your regular old rock and roll Joe. He plays for the kids. He plays for the elderly. He plays for the dead. Like on their tour bus, you know, at least out in the fucking parking lot.
You know,
you're gonna at least meet some of the dead family out there, you know.
You know, I'd be honored to play for the dead, either the band The Dead or the actual deceased, those who have ceased to live. I mean,
hey, I've been talking about doing a tour that's all ghost towns and abandoned cemeteries and shit. Maybe you could be the opener.
Yeah. You know, there is an actual cemetery venue in the Midwest. I can't remember the exact state, city, and name of the venue, but there 100% is a cemetery venue. I can't remember. It's Illinois, Indiana.
How do you mean cemetery venue?
It is a cemetery where they have shows, and they allow touring bands to perform there too
regularly.
Oh yeah, they have
Currently.
regular shows. If I remember correctly, I believe I called them up on the phone trying to get a show there this year, but for some reason either I didn't get a hold of them or I can't remember what it was. But I do know I at least made an attempt to perform at the cemetery, because with all the other interesting alternative venues I've performed at,
yeah,
I think adding a cemetery
would, for sure. That's one of the few places that I have yet to play and would very much like to. So now you just gave me a new thing to put on my to-do list.
Yeah, check it out. I know it's somewhere in the Midwest. I'm gonna have to look it up whenever when our show is done here. You know,
word. If we can figure it out,
Word.
we will leave a link in the description if we can remember to do that.
That's a good idea, and you know, I bet they would appreciate the free advertising.
For sure.
I know.
Until then, what's the name of this next little ditty you got for us?
Well, this next song I'm going to perform is from my last album, Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 1, the predecessor to the brand new one that I'm on tour for now, Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 2.
So before we get into that, the song you played at the beginning, that's like kind of represents your past kind of thing. And this super happy thing is, you know, like you sort of described, almost has become like a, not just your theme, but almost like a present state of mind almost, or present state of being that hasn't always been the case.
Well, absolutely, and that was one of the reasons I picked to play that song first. Because it just coincidentally happened to be the same key as your theme song,
which was fucking awesome.
Pretty neat to go from intro into that.
Since you've been here, yeah, that's right, kids. We have acquired our own theme song. We also failed to mention Brian was here at the very, very beginning of this season. He was actually the second person to play season 7, and he is just making his rounds back through Utah, and we happen to have time to squeeze him in. Unfortunately, the show's probably not going to get broadcast till like December. So, we're recording this in November. But either way, hey, man, we've come a long way, even just in that short amount of time. You were seriously like second, and then you're going to be one of the very, very last episodes of this season. So, I mean, look at what we've done with the place. Look at all this.
No kidding. I mean, it's looking great, and I am happy to be the bread in the KWJUDAS sandwich here, so it's pretty awesome.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, but
you are the bread to my sandwich.
Playing at the beginning and the end of the season, I like it. I like bookending like that. That's kind of what I like to do. But yeah, like you were saying,
the anguish thing being like the past state of mind.
Well, true. The old band was called Anguish, and it was more like a punk hard rock thing, and some of the lyrical content was not quite as positive as and going from, finally deciding after 25 years of having the band Anguish and having like 60 or 70 different band members in the band over the years.
Damn.
And I literally quit counting like when I got into the 40s. It might actually be more than 70. It might be more like 80, 90. It could even be 100.
Just in the band Anguish?
Just in the band Anguish.
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
man.
I went through them like crazy. Well,
So I can understand why it's not just like lose the theme, but just maybe let's try something different altogether, you know?
no doubt. And that's the thing, it's great to go from like being the like kind of like trying to be a tough guy, punk rock tough guy,
Right. A
to
badass.
Right. I'm this bad, tough punk rock guy. Now it's just great to be Brian's Super Happy Fun Time. And at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 1. If you listen to the album, there's 20 songs on that album, and it runs the gamut of emotions.
Right.
As a matter of fact, one newspaper article reviewed the record and said it reminded them of the White Album, which I thought was a pretty awesome. I was like, man, I like that. But his point of comparing it to the White Album is it's just like so all over the place. It definitely wasn't like 100% super happy fun.
Right.
But I am definitely moving more into that. And as the show progresses and I start to play some more of the brand new songs that are going to be on Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 3, which will be coming out in 2023.
Oh my God, a third Super Happy Fun. Jesus, that's like butt fucking over.
Oh, yes.
All right, we're going to have to edit that out.
No. It's okay to cuss.
I was going to say it's
I'm
overload,
just not going to
man,
cuss myself.
Without the butt fucking...
Now, feel free to cuss. I am not one to, but like I said, I mean,
Well, the kids out there and the elderly and the dead people.
I mean, well, and
they're
once again, I
listening.
am going to try to play for both the dead, the band, and the dead, the actual dead. Man, we just need to keep all this in. I don't think any of it should be edited out. This is gold.
All right, we won't.
All right.
But maybe we should play a song.
All right, great. Absolutely. So, so this is Pretty Baby from Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 1, the predecessor to Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 2. Love you once, love you twice, love you more than beans and rice, my baby, my pretty baby, my little lady, my pretty baby. Love you up, love you down, gotta love you where I found my baby, my pretty baby, my little lady, my pretty baby, yeah. Love you here, love you there, gotta love you everywhere, my baby, my pretty baby, my little lady, my pretty baby. Love you once, love you twice, love you more than beans and rice, my baby, my pretty baby, my little lady, my pretty baby, my little lady, my pretty baby, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Brian Bielanski here on KWJUDAS Free Radio Provo. Thank you all for joining us on this fabulous evening. And thank you for coming back through this hazardous, treacherous town of Gumption, Utah.
Oh, thank you, Judas, for having me back. It's a real pleasure. Like I said before the show started, man, I was definitely looking forward to making it back here, and it was a great time back in April. And great
April. That's what I was going to ask if you even remembered.
Oh,
When-
absolutely.
April just earlier this year, folks.
Yeah. I think it was April 20th or April 19th.
You even remember the date.
Yeah.
You're better than me.
I gotta.
Or is it just because it was around April 20th?
No, it was April 19th. 100%, if I remember correctly.
Damn, you got this.
Thank you very much. I do keep notes, but
So do I. I mean, they're all documented right here on this YouTube channel and Spotify and fucking everywhere else.
well, and it's great to have stuff like that to look back onto. But no, I actually have like notebooks and little notepads where I write down stuff. And
that is impressive.
thank you very much. Well, you know what? I care.
This guy is on top of shit.
Thank you.
So it's kind of funny. We were talking about this a little earlier. Like before, he shows up and we haven't seen each other in a few months,
7 months.
I kind of feel like a chode. But at the beginning of this year, I quit drinking, like, for real. Like, And I was actually doing a really good job. I went like 4 months. I went and visited Oregon for a little bit, and they got the damn better of me. Came back, started KWJUDAS immediately right after I got back from Oregon. I did one show, and then I meet this guy. And so right when I get back into Utah, I'm like, I'm not drinking, because I was trying to come back from Oregon and still say I ain't drinking, and I still was not for a good while. If you watch the whole Gumption Chronicles, those 5 episodes, that whole thing was based on kind of in a roundabout way, or not even that roundabout way, of me really, really trying to quit alcohol. I thought I meant it this time, and I feel like a chode because I am right back here drinking again. And the point that I'm trying to make is things have just kind of come back full circle in only a matter of months. Elder Bielanski here also was kicking off his tour with the intention of keeping it clean, keeping it dry, keeping it, straight and narrow. Well, cheers, buddy.
Well, cheers. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having a beverage responsibly. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I mean,
And
we're
think,
only human. We make mistakes.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with us having a beer or two. I mean, there really isn't. As long as you're responsible about it and you don't let it become a problem in your life, I think it's okay to enjoy adult beverages in a responsible way.
Right. I just haven't done that. I have drinking adult beverages in a very irresponsible way, and there is a difference, mind you. See, what you kind of grow up under this misconception is not just, I grew up Mormon, but, a lot of Christians. And, yes, Mormons still do count as Christians because they still believe in Jesus, goddamn.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people don't consider Mormons Christians.
Well, me being Catholic, I understand. A lot of people are like, oh, you're not Christian, you're Catholic. I'm growing up in the South.
If you believe in Christ, you're Christian. That's what Christian means.
Indeed. Well, and I certainly,
regardless of
seems
what
like a no-brainer
you got between each other, Christian is Christ-based. Fuck off. Anyways.
Indeed.
So, now I can't even remember what I was talking about.
Well, you were like, I had quit. Both of us were teetotalers when we met for the first time, and now both of us are just responsibly enjoying an adult beverage.
Oh, the point that I was trying to make is the misconception is that all alcohol use is alcohol abuse. Too many people don't understand that there is a difference between alcohol use and alcohol abuse.
Oh, 100%.
That is why it is called alcohol abuse, is when people start to abuse the use of alcohol. Using alcohol, in moderation's not so big of a thing. Abusing alcohol is when you're kind of doing it like I did, and now I have necrosis of the hip, and I can't walk properly. Because I abused alcohol and did not use it responsibly. See, and that's another kind of misconception people have, is that using alcohol irresponsibly must mean that you went out and you drank and drive, or you went and you beat your wife or something. You got in a fight with your best friend just because you were drunk. You broke a window or did something stupid. There are so many different forms of alcohol abuse, if you want to get into it. And where starters is learning the difference between alcohol use and alcohol abuse. The difference between drinking responsibly and drinking irresponsibly. And that, I guess, is what we call learning and sharing here on KWJUDAS. It's all part of just growing up.
And you know what? Yeah, and it is a problem for a lot of people. And trust me, when I was younger, I made some bad decisions with drinking. But once again, I don't.
We talked a little before the show.
We did. we did talk a little
before the show.
But but here's the thing too. I mean, alcohol is it's like anything else in the world. It's something that can be used for good or bad. I mean, if you're using it in a responsible way, then
Fudge pudding.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think fudge pudding's that bad.
But if you eat too much of it, well, you could get diabetes and lose your feet.
Dude, if you ate as much fudge pudding as I drank beer, especially for the amount of time that I have been drinking beer, like all day, every day, you'd probably already be dead. So fuck you. Don't look down on me for drinking my beer. Fudge pudding would have killed you quicker anyway. Eat shit. Eat the shit. Let's have another song.
All right. Well, let's do another song. That sounds great. So I do have this harmonica on my neck. So I think I'm going to do another song from the Anguish days. Now,
we're going back to the Anguish days.
Now, and here's the funny thing about this song, too. So this song is from the album The Fearless Corporate Rock Killers, and it was recorded on one of my world tours a few years back in various locations around the world. And this particular song was recorded in Greece, and that is Greece the country, not Grease the cooking oil.
No, I get you.
And actually, as a matter of fact, this song was recorded by the gentleman from Eurogression who introduced me to Steve Albini.
Right.
So this was supposed to be my very first solo album. Instead, I took the track and threw it on my next band album because I was solo for a little bit. And then I was like, hey, I got a new drummer. Let me go back to being a band.
So how many actual albums does Anguish have?
So that's 11 albums with Anguish.
I think you left me with like 3 or 4, but I didn't know you had that much shit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I left you with the ones that I have from the distribution deal that kind of went sour. So I was like,
at least you got a little distro. I mean,
well, but a little distro got sent right back to me, and there's a little bit of a that's why there's certain albums that definitely get hey, here you go, you can have this because there's boxes of these sitting in my studio back home.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Like you got sent a whole bunch. Well, hey, at least you have those. Well, some people have 0 hard copies of anything they've done.
Well, no kidding, and you know what? Actually, those those people still buy CDs, and
they do.
And those CDs, those particular ones that were ones that a distribution deal I had gone wrong. I have been poorly managed over the years. Sometimes you get these managers that are like, hey, we're going to do this for you, kid. We're going to make you a star.
Yeah, boss. Yeah.
Like, hey, kid, you follow me and you do what I say, and I'm going to get you into the charts.
I'll do what you say, boss.
Right. Yeah. So because of that, I happen to have a little overstock of certain albums. But you know what? They're moving. People are liking them. I'm still playing songs off the albums, and people are still buying them.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well, if you got all those fucking albums, you might as well sell them.
Absolutely. And so I always do like to play a few songs from every album, since they're sitting around. Otherwise, they just be sitting in the boxes at my house. But so here's a song, Fearless Corporate Rock Killers, recorded in Greece,
Rock Killers,
on the island of Crete. Yeah,
the island of Crete.
And this song, it's a little song I wrote about how when you're in a traveling rock band and every single bar gives you a free bar tab, sometimes it's easy to go overboard. So I wrote a song about it. It's called The Alcoholic Song. wasn't me. It was the whiskey. And I'm so sorry to everyone. The bands drink for free, and I got sloppy. My good intentions are undone. Oh man, what a buzz. Better mix that with soda because I might not make it through the night. Think I see a big bright white light. It wasn't me. It was the whiskey. And I'm so sorry to everyone. Drag. Somebody drank all the Jack. Oh man, what I need is a maker's mark. Please believe it wasn't me. It was the whiskey. And I'm so sorry to everyone. I'm so sorry to everyone. And I'm so sorry to everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Gracias, señor.
Oh man, I'm joking on myself, Arliss. Shit. Brian.
Cuidado, jefe.
Brian Bielanski and KWJUDAS. Free radio.
KWJUDAS.
KWJUDAS.
Judas.
However you like to pronounce it. Thank you for joining me, my friend.
De nada. Jefe.
I'm sorry, every now and then I get a little choked up, and,
Well, that was a choking up kind of
the
song
inner
there.
Spaniard comes out of me.
Yeah. I have tons of Latino friends all over the world. I love speaking Spanish. It's a fun language to speak.
I speak Spanish. I'm not sure what my origin is, to be perfectly honest. I think I told you that. I am literally a test tube baby.
Right on. Yeah, no. Well, you certainly speak, like I said, I asked you earlier if you were Latino because you speak Spanish impeccably. I think it is a fun language to speak. I'm also a big fan of French and German, too. And Italian.
I took German for 2 years.
Right.
Italian, I think, would be fun.
Italian is, if you have a very, broad basis in Spanish, it's easy to go to Italian from there. There's a lot of words.
I've heard.
Yeah. There's tons of words that are the same. So,
Greek also. So you've been to Greece.
Yes, sir.
Have you been to Italy?
I have been to Italy, absolutely.
But where have you been? Like, motherfucker, you seem like you covered a lot of fucking ground. You worked with a lot of motherfuckers. At first I was like, hey, we should talk about the tour just since you've been here last. I doubt anything as interesting as Greece or Italy or any of that kind of thing. I mean...
Well, they definitely were some interesting places, and like I said, it's kind of funny the way I just happened to play that song from the Fearless Corporate Rock Killers, which was that song was recorded in Greece.
The song you just played.
Right. And
no, before we get into it, that song, I wanted to just say a lot about that shit right there. That's one of those kind of songs that could be translated not just to like different languages, but like to different genres. I'm sitting here like, dude, you could turn this into a country song. You could turn this into like a dance, like a pop kind of shit. Like everything about it, I'm just like the lyrics, the feel, the situation that you're in, kind of thing. The situation that so many people have found themselves in.
Well, thank you.
And like, you really could give that song to just anyone like a country singer or a pop singer, and like, hey, do your version of this, And I just like love to hear like a,
No kid, no.
Exactly what we just heard, or like even a country pop. Even though I hate most pop electronic and hate most country pop, I'm just like, wow, dude. And I'm not trying to say that that song was terribly poppy, because it wasn't really. But I feel like it was more or less just the theme, the feel, the situation you're in, the lyrical content, the way that like anyone who has any that much experience with drinking has probably had situations like that. There's a lot of every now and then you just hear a song that it just could translate universally, almost to any type of music you wanted to. Just change that into a mariachi song or a polka song or whatever the fuck.
Well, man, thank you, Judas. And I honestly was not planning on playing that song, but that's why I never write set lists. And on our first episode together, when you were kind enough to have me on for the first time back in April, it seemed like whatever we were talking about in our conversation, I was like, all right, let me play my song about that. And since the topic of drinking came up, I just figured, well, here we go. I'm gonna
another drinking song.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that is like the only one, or if it's not the only one, it's one of like maybe 2 or 3.
Right. I'm just saying there's a lot of drinking songs out there.
Oh, indeed.
But to get back to the topic we were talking about, European touring and just like how much ground you've covered as far as, like where you have been.
So it was 19 countries altogether. And it's funny, you mentioned talking about what's happened this year since we last met.
Yeah,
so I did mention on the first time I was on here that Utah became my 46th state that I've performed in, and since I left here in April, I have now performed at state number 47, Maine, and state number 48, Rhode Island. So I got Maine and Rhode Island, the only two besides Utah that had eluded me heretofore.
What's left?
Alaska and Hawaii.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yep. And then after that, it's going to be the territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, the Mariana Islands.
Now, you said that you've also traveled a little bit further down south. Was that Costa Rica?
Right. Yeah, and we were talking about that. Costa Rica. Yeah, I've done Mexico and I have done Costa Rica. As far as getting a little bit further south on the Americas, there have not gotten down to South America. Really would like to. I actually have
that would be cool.
I've got friends in Peru that have been, I've been trying to make it happen for quite some time. I need to go ahead and make it happen. I also do kind of like to play places where there's some interesting historical things. Like when I was in UK, I had to take a, one morning before my show in the UK, I went and checked out Stonehenge.
How was that? They don't like charge you to get in, do they?
I can't remember if there was a charge or not.
Or is it just a place you could just walk up?
If there was a charge, I think it must have been a nominal charge. I don't remember. I don't remember paying to get into Stonehenge. So
I know that might sound like a stupid question.
No, not at all.
But I haven't really traveled a whole lot, especially to those huge, just places that everyone knows. A place like Stonehenge that is a historical place, but like by now there must be fucking lines like Disneyland status.
Oh, no, it definitely wasn't that bad. There were, I do remember lines. I remember, like, having to wait a little bit, but not like Disneyland waits. And
I was kind of exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
No, but there was a little bit of that. I do remember being queued, because that's what they call lines in the United Kingdom. They call them queues.
All right. You don't just get to go check out Stonehenge by yourself.
And kind of the same thing with the Acropolis, which I got to see in Athens, Greece, the Colosseum in Rome. So I definitely like now here on the American tour this year. There's been no recreation time whatsoever at all.
Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?
Well,
we'll check out the Utah ghost towns.
I actually am playing in Utah tomorrow. I'd mention where I am, but it won't matter since this is going to get broadcast later. But I will be playing in Ogden, so not too far from here.
Where at?
The Slackwater Pub and Pizzeria.
Nice. I have not heard of that place, but I like Ogden. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're not like most other places around Utah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had nothing but good experiences here in Utah. I know I played ABG's Libation Emporium here when I was here in April.
A Libation Emporium. See, he's from out of state. He includes that part.
Well, here you just say ABGs, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just say ABGs?
Well, because it's so much fun to say libation.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. That was actually one of the greatest shows of the tour, or perhaps even of my entire career. It was that cool.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Entire career.
Oh yeah.
Like, who sucked you off?
No, it wasn't that cool.
I hear that Dane gives some mad blowjobs. No, I'm kidding, Dane. Sorry, I kind of know who you are. You don't know me though, man.
Is it? Does he not? I mean, he was a super nice guy. I mean, it was great club. I mean, it was a really great show.
I don't want to say too much about ABGs on my show. They're okay, I guess I'm not allowed to play there for reasons I still have never been told, as have anyone that's been affiliated with me, but that was a while ago. I would just like to know why. When somebody says you can't play there, I would like to know why. And
wow.
If I did something that I know I did, then at least I guessed it. Like, oh yeah, we fucked up. But anyways, that's sort of beside the point, and I'll probably edit even this part out because I don't want to start any shit.
Understood. Hey, well, that's a good thing about editing. But if I've got places like that in Charlotte. Except I know the reason why I'm not welcome.
Okay, I've got places that I know why they don't like us. But, like, there's several places where it's like, they say, I'm sorry, because of what happened last night, we can't have you. And I'm like, What happened last night? And they just don't tell you. When they just don't say what happened, or when I even, I have to guess, and they're like, well, it's that and something else, I still won't tell you. And the classic way out is they blame it on the fucking owners. I'm sorry, but I have booked more than one venue myself. I'm not just a guy in a band. I'm not just a guy with a radio show. I ran a bar. I've ran an all-ages venue. And I know a lot of the things that you kind of go through. And that's why I kind of wish they would be honest with me. You know what I mean? Because I hate to admit there's one time ever that I actually had to pretend like the owners were responsible for it, and it was a reason I just didn't want to tell them. So, I know what it's like to play that card. And the fact that they did that, the fact that they said, oh, it was the owners, when I'm like, fuck you, the owners don't know who I am. The owners don't, you know what I mean? That's where I'm just like, dude, just tell me what is, and at least, even if you never want to see me again, at least I know not to do this again at another venue. At least I know what is the issue, and I can resolve it. I can fix it, and, I have that for future reference. But to just be like, nah, I'm...
Well, so a lot of the similar situations I've experienced in my hometown is because of girl drama. So go figure with that. And that's
not going to be the case. At least I hope isn't the case in my situation.
Go figure with that. I mean, girl drama. Yeah, it's girls.
Yeah, I don't get girls, man, or guys. I'm married to the game, and that's why
here's the
it
thing.
fucks with me when the game plays me wrong. When I'm, all I do is shows and shit, and then I'm getting dicked. It's like, man.
What are you going to do to it? It's like some guy gets mad because their girlfriend likes you, and then all of a sudden you can't play.
I don't ever have that problem. You've got that baby face, man.
Well, trust me, I've had that problem.
Than me, and you look fucking like 10 years younger.
Well, thanks. That's nice
Not
to say.
Fair. But that's why everyone hates you, is they're jealous.
Is that
you
what it
bastard? You good-looking, charming ass. Happy story time, fun-loving.
Well, thank you. No, but trust me, those times that's happened has been few and far between.
And all you can do is just laugh it off.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
It's like my mom used to tell me when I was a little kid, and I'd come home and be like, "Mom, they were bullying me at school." She's like, "Brian, they're just jealous because you're smarter and more handsome than they are."
And you still get to say that, you bastard. Because this time it's true. Back then, you were just believing it to make yourself confident.
I was like, dude.
Now it's like, oh, shit. You believe it long enough, you get it.
If Mom said that, Mom wouldn't lie.
Right. You believed that you were going to work with Steve Albini one day, and there you go. You had it. See, kids, all you got to do is just believe in Brian Bielanski, and you get what you want.
All your dreams will come true if you buy my album.
Don't believe in yourself. Fuck you. Yourself can fuck off. Believe in Bielanski. That's right, Bielanski Taz. So let's have another song, Brian Bielanski.
That sounds great. And since I still have this mouth harp on, I am going to go ahead and do... this is a song from one of my earlier albums. This album was called Data West. It was actually my band's B-Sides and Rarity album.
So it's still from Anguish.
Yes, this was an Anguish album called Data West.
More Anguish.
Yeah. However, this song is very non-Anguish, and this was actually the one brand new song that we threw on the B-Sides album for that all the people that had already gotten all those songs on other things.
Word.
They had to buy the album to get this brand new song.
Or they could listen to this. KWJUDAS, free radio, Provo.
I wanna be your monkey. I wanna make you smile. I wanna make you laugh. Make you wanna hang around a while. Making a few bananas. Playing shows in Nevada. Juggling bottles of Fanta. And now I'm asking for you from Santa. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to love you true. I only wanna be with you. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. If I really was your monkey, I know you'd take good care of me. I love the way you love animals. You love me especially. You're cuter than a Disney trailer. Rent a boat, dress me like a sailor. So excited I wanna scream. Could reality become my dream? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to love you true. I only wanna be with you. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh.
make you laugh, make you wanna hang around a while. Now kiss me like you kissed a dolphin, dress me up, take me miniature golfing. Would you adopt me if I was an orphan? Would the feelings for me start to soften? I know what I'm gonna do, I'm going to love you true. I only wanna be with, I only wanna be with.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Judas. Thank you. So that was I Wanna Be Your Monkey from the album Data West.
Well, all I could say is not only did I really enjoy the rhyme scheme on that, but I kind of had a particularly hard time not making eye contact during that one. We're going to have a word from our sponsor real quick and get back to some more Brian Bielanski here on KWJUDAS. Well, it's been almost 40 years of trying. Almost 40 years of going nowhere. Last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, still in the same place. In debt. Alone, going nowhere. When I was a kid, and I decided I wanted to be a musician when I grew up, I saw myself by age 40 with a successful career, beautiful wife, my own home, and my very own axolotl. At least I got an axolotl. Really? I guess this really is how it was meant to end. The host of our main show passed out yet again with a bottle and gun to his head, and in my custodial closet. Why, back home I could pound a pint of sweet Cointreau, roast a jay, and run an entire Fortadell just fine. I could easily run this infernal studio, or at least have my own show. But no. Instead, I somehow wind up cleaning up after this nincompoop. Oh, I hate this whole universe, and everyone in it. If only there was some way to destroy it all and just go back home. Mommy. Yes, Mommy. Wait, perhaps there is a way. Judas! Judas, wake up, you old fuddy-duddy. Me? A fuddy-duddy? I'm still in my 30s, you piece of... Master Judas, you are, in fact, passed out in my designated custodial closet. And I... Good heavens! Is that a gun in your hand? And an empty bottle of sweet, crisp Cointreau?
I suppose it is, Mr. Tall, Swanky, Evil Jack.
Judas, as your newest bestest acquaintance, I insist you seek professional help and quit drinking permanently as of this very moment. In fact, I've already called for you next call.
Judas H. Christ.
No! I mean, yes!
This way, Mr. Christ.
But wait, Yes, as anyone who's watched the last series knows, if Judas stays sober, an everlasting black hole tears open above his head, which will inevitably consume all within its further expanding radius, with every moment he spends sober, hopefully destroying this entire plane of existence and spewing us back to my home planet Eros.
Hey, janitor!
May I speak with Mr.
Hey, jackass! I can see your phone's not on.
Oh.
So yeah, the chairman of the board wants you to clean up the place for the upcoming Christmas show. Apparently, the mayor himself is coming down to give a big Christmas devotional. So the place needs to look good there, Mr. Janitor.
It's tall, swanky, evil janitor to you.
Yeah, whatever. Clean the bathrooms, jerk. I don't know what Judas and Arliss were drinking last night, but it's brownish orange and somebody very much missed the toilet bowl.
Will Judas actually quit drinking this time? Will tall, swanky, evil guy find a way to destroy the universe and get back to his home planet? And who left the queasy brown-orange mess in the studio restrooms? Find out next time on another chair-groping episode from Gumption City Studios, live out of Gumption City, Utah.
Brought to you by Derpin Schlee. And remember, if it doesn't say Derpin, it's not Derpin Schlee.
Well, that was a word from Derpin Schlee. And if it doesn't say Derpin, as all of you know, I'm pretty sure it's not Derpin Schlee. And I'm pretty sure those guys ripped off the Micro Machine commercials. It's just the Derpin Schlee guy can't talk that fucking fast. I could be wrong, though, and I don't want them to fire me for saying that. Because it is Derpin Schlee that puts the peanut shells in your pocket.
I mean, hey, you know what? I never knew about Derpin Schlee until my first appearance here, and I'm a convert for life to Derpin Schlee.
I mean, really, where else have you ever been paid so many peanut shells?
And I mean, those Wendigo earmuffs that
Derpin
Schlee makes, yeah.
How did those work out, by the way?
Oh, they were great. Just like the ad says, I never slept since.
Well, you had the prototype. And yeah, you haven't slept ever since you have played KWJUDAS. Wow, what an effective product.
There were a few weeks in the interim period before I first performed, and I actually got the earmuffs. But,
right.
So
but
I did.
Still.
But yeah, no kidding.
They did the trick.
Absolutely. I mean, Derpin Schlee lives up to its name.
Always Derpin Schlee. Always forever.
Hail Derpin Schlee.
So it looks like we're getting to the end of the show, folks. Before we go, are there any, I don't know, other cool things that you want to talk about? Or like, I don't know, boys that you like, or like sleepover stories, or just, I don't know, places to find your music.
Well, you know what? Anybody that's interested in finding more of my music can visit briansuperhappyfuntime.com, BrianSuperhappyfuntime.com.
Damn, that was a long one.
Well, BrianSuperhappyfuntime.com, because Brian Bielanski, the last name Bielanski, sometimes that can be a little hard to spell for some people.
Yeah, but that seemed like it's still shorter than what the fuck you just spelled.
Well, either one.
I think I gave you shit for this on the last episode, too.
Did we? I don't remember that part.
If I didn't, then I should have.
I mean, I don't think you did. Like I said, I listened to the previous episode and took notes to make sure...
to make sure I don't do anything stupid. And you don't play any of the same songs. You didn't do that, did you?
Nope, absolutely not. I mean, with all those 13 albums, I definitely can make that happen.
You've got enough material to be on this show like a million times.
Yeah, I mean, I can be your only guest for forever.
Next season 8 is just Brian Bielanski. That's it. And then we're going to have other guests that like might get to do other shit, but just him doing his thing.
I mean, if they please me, I'll let them do like a song.
It would make it a lot easier for me.
A song.
That way I don't have to fucking book another season, man.
I mean,
I'm
right?
not going to be... okay, this season was the best season ever.
Cool.
And as of right now, you're the last episode. I might have a couple others that are going to follow this one up. But if not, hey, everyone, have a pleasant next year and have a pleasant next season. I am going to take a little bit of a break, because although this was the best season ever, it was tiresome, and it took up a lot of my time. If you didn't notice, this is the first time that we've had cartoons, this is something that we've always talked about doing. Ever since we first started doing this, the Derpishly commercials were a joke, always has been a joke, and just kind of turned into what it is now. And pretty much every episode is, I'm not going to say fully animated, but it's got the cartoon there for the Derpishly commercials. And I've got those separate, and sometimes the Derpishly commercial does better than the fucking KWJUDAS episode itself. That's how you know if the band who's on the show promoted their shit. That's how you know if they give a fuck. Is if the Derpishly commercial got more views than your KWJUDAS episode. You needed to share it more, man. Or, I don't know, pay for a promoter.
Wow, well, thanks for the intel on that, KWJUDAS. It has been quite the pleasure. I will make sure, I'm going to make sure that the episode gets more hits than the Derpishly, although I don't want...
There's a little bit of a competition for who gets the most views,
kidding.
and I should start like a reward. You got to beat Ritual. Ritual is kicking ass in not just last episode, every time he's on here. So, shout outs to Ritual. Sure, he was the first one on this season, but last season he was on here with a couple other guests, and God, I don't even know how many views they're at now. So we're gonna make a competition out of it. Okay, a prize of the prize. 2 kangaroos, kazoo, and a trip to Kalamazoo.
All right.
With Captain Kangaroo. No, I already. Oh, fuck. What? Nah. Those
Kangaroo,
are all the rude.
Kalamazoo.
Nothing rhymes with kangaroo. That's it. You get everything that rhymes with kangaroo all in one big package.
Sehr gut, mein Freund.
All right. So, the next song we got here, Brian Bielanski. Where do we find your music?
Oh, so, once again, BrianSuperHappyFunTime.com, and then you can find me
Keep talking.
on everything.
On everything.
I'm on everything.
Mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup.
Yep, I'm on ketchup bottles, mustard bottles, Pandora,
Fry sauce.
Spotify, fry sauce, as you have here in Utah.
Oh, yes.
I think they call it California sauce. At,
California sauce.
Carl's Jr. I am on, the back of cereal boxes. I am on
Milk cartons.
milk cartons.
Have you seen me lately?
Vending machines.
That's
Spotify.
In fact, I think that's where I know you from.
The vending machine.
No, the milk cartons.
Yeah.
You've been missing for how many fucking years now?
No one misses me.
He never goes home, folks. He just lives on the road because he ran away at age 12, and he's been living on milk cartons ever since.
You know what? I saw the movie Stand By Me from the 80s. Have you seen that? No.
If I was 12, I would have seen it by now.
Right. I always like that one part where River Phoenix was like, I just want to go somewhere where nobody knows who I am.
The opposite of Cheers.
Yeah. Cherries.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I never thought of that. Although I really like Cheers, too.
I love it.
Go figure.
So the next song we got here, Brian Bielanski, what do you got?
Making the way in the world today takes
God.
everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot.
Nope, just kidding. This is another exclusive because I like free radio Provo so much. Here's
it's a known fact that the first episode of Cheers actually wasn't filmed in front of a live studio audience. Actually,
Norm.
They were the first ones to
That's a really good
film in front
norm.
of the live studio audience. But actually, it dates back to the ancient Egyptians.
I did grow up watching that show, and even as a little kid, I always thought it was funny that a show in a bar, but nobody was ever drunk on the show. Nobody ever actually was, like, visibly intoxicated.
Are we sure about that?
Nobody was visibly intoxicated. To take
Visibly.
a legal term there, visibly intoxicated.
Well, that is kind of a broad term, visibly intoxicated. Am I visibly intoxicated right now? Anyone listening right now, I could be shit-faced and just...
Well, here's the thing. Since
And
we're on
I'm
radio,
not
nobody can tell if
visibly
we're... It's pretty hard for the listeners to see if we're visibly intoxicated.
That's what I'm saying.
So, visibly intoxicated, a little legal term I became aware of at one point. So, but for real, though, here's an exclusive brand new song. As I've traveled the country and the world, I hang out in a lot of libraries because it's a free place where I can hang out and use my laptop and do all my emails to promote and book more shows, and I don't have to spend any money or buy any coffee or burgers or anything. So I wrote a song about hanging out in the library. It's called Rock the Library, USA. Well, honey, I know what you need. I like to write and you like to read. I really like the way you look. Are you gonna check out my library book? Cause I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast on I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, I-50, I-60, I-70, 80. Love you, baby, don't mean maybe. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm your host, A-OK, rockin' libraries, USA. Yeah, you look so cute in your glasses, studying for college classes. No fails, only passes, sweeter than Alabama molasses. And I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast at I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, 50, I-60, I-70, 80. Love you, baby, I don't mean maybe. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm your host, A-OK, rockin' libraries, USA, yeah. Rock, rock, rock the library. 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 I'm your host, A-OK, rockin' libraries, USA. Let's rock. What I need, I like a girl that likes to read. Come on, baby, I'm no fool. I know that the library's cool, and I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast on I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, 50, I-60, I-70, 80. Love you, baby, don't be, baby. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm your host, A-OK, rockin' libraries, USA. Thank you, Judas. Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to get to come back here. Thank you so much for having me back.
We'd like to thank you all for joining us on yet another exciting episode of KWJUDAS on Free Radio Provo. We now turn you back to our regular free radio programming.